Hello health enthusiasts, Anna is here. In recent years, gut health has been a hot topic in medical circles and in the wellness world. But much older traditions have emphasized the importance of digestive health for thousands of years, stating that health and disease start in the intestines. It is a delicate structure that not only allows us to obtain the building blocks and chemicals that build our bodies, but also gives us intuitive superpowers, like when you know who to trust in life or what kind of nutrients your body needs. But when the intestines are in distress, nutrient depletion results. You may mysteriously gain weight, get constipated, develop food sensitivities. Your seasonal allergies struck you more harshly than ever before. You get anxious, depressed, and your gut feelings just seem to be off lately. How can this perfectly designed intestinal machinery forget how to function, making you feel miserable while dealing with bloating, gas, constipation, food sensitivities, acidity, tummy discomforts? In this video, I will be sharing everything you should know about the gut health, what gut actually is, what it does, how to recognize signs and symptoms of an unhealthy gut, and the best probiotic and prebiotic foods you should include into your diet. Naturally, Anna is a YouTube channel where ancient wisdom meets modern science. So don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell button to receive notifications when new videos are out. There is a beautiful, strong-looking tree growing in your garden. All of a sudden, the leaves start looking sick. You look at the leaves, thinking, what could you do to restore the lost luster of this tree? But an experienced gardener will not look at the leaves. He knows too well that to be able to understand why leaves are getting sick, one has to dig out the roots to find the cause of the disease. Buried in the soil and hidden from view, most plant diseases begin in the roots, then casting the symptoms far away on leaves or branches. Roots receive nutrients and water from the soil, nurturing the whole plant and growing healthy leaves. To be even more effective, roots create a strong symbiosis with soil bacteria that will produce an extra supply of important chemicals needed for the plant to grow. When there is a lack of nutrients, a disruptive relationship with symbiotic bacteria, or water imbalance, the plant becomes sick. And just like roots, hidden from view, the human gut absorbs nutrients and water from food, our soil. Millions of bacteria create a strong symbiosis with our intestines, helping us break down and absorb more nutrients. And when sick, just like with the plants, symptoms can be shown on organs far away from our roots, on the skin, hair, nails. Most people underestimate the importance of intestinal health, yet it is one of the most important systems for human life. It allows us the most intimate relationship with nature by co-living with 100 trillion bacteria and with the world, by allowing us to obtain building blocks and chemicals that make our bodies, and even by allowing us to respond to the world using our sixth sense, gut intuition. But when we depart from the ways of nature, gut functions deteriorate. Bad bacteria and yeast take over the digestive system, producing toxic waste. The immunity system gets overwhelmed dealing with the toxicity, and the nervous system begins receiving confusing information, making you anxious, fearful, and depressed. Toxicity affects the gut before any other organ. Considering that all our other body systems are connected with the gut in one way or another, there is no doubt that health and disease start in the intestines, our roots. The gut technically is the gastrointestinal tract or digestive system, a 9-meter long tube starting from the mouth to the anus. Gut health describes the function and balance of everything that goes on along the tube. There are four major functions of the gut. The intestinal wall, a protective barrier. As food passes through the upper organs of the digestive system, it gets broken down into basic building blocks. Proteins into amino acids, carbohydrates into simple sugars, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. For these to be utilized by the body, they need to enter the bloodstream, which means they need to pass a border, a barrier that separates the inside of the body from the outside. It is a highly selective barrier, which in a healthy intestine is made of intestinal cells with tight junctions in between. It keeps all the unwanted out. The intestinal flora, microbiota. The gut microbiota consists of 250 and up to 1,000 bacterial species, accounting for between 1 and 2 kilograms of your body weight. These bacteria have an incredibly important role of keeping all the pathogens we ingest daily at bay and helping us eliminate all the toxic residues in a timely manner. All other functions of the gut depend upon the activity of the microbiota, which is why when discussing the gut health, focus is on the gut microbiota. 70 to 80% of our immune cells are aligned along the tube. Their primary function is to monitor whether the good bacteria, the microbiota, are successfully protecting the body from the foreign visitors. If they fail in body protection, the immune cells will trigger a strong immune response. And finally, intuition. There are millions of nerve cells around the intestines capable of processing information about what's going on and putting an adequate response into action independently from the brain. The intestines have sort of a brain on their own. It is a mechanism that might have helped early men and women to survive, bypassing an overanalyzing brain and helping them make quick decisions upon which life might depend on. While we might not be confronting wild animals nowadays, our gut feelings are still very much alive, helping us intuitively navigate human relationships, stresses, and challenging life situations. When healthy, our gut can often be a better guide than our analytic brain. In addition, more than 80% of serotonin is produced by these same nerve cells in the gut, which is a neurotransmitter, a chemical needed for communication of the nerve cells, that is also responsible for the feeling of happiness and well-being. A healthy gut creates a happy mind. The human intestines have closed a great deal with millions of bacteria. Humans give them a very cozy accommodation within the folds of the intestinal mucosa with a luxury package including moisture, temperature, pH, and abundance of nutrients. In exchange, more than 250 bacterial species help with digestion, enabling essential nutrients to be absorbed that otherwise wouldn't be able to pass the intestinal wall and enter the bloodstream. They also protect humans from pathogens, which are disease-causing bacteria, viruses, and parasites, by taking up all the available space in their intestinal folds so that no other species can inhabit the area. It is a great deal, and as long as we have a good cooperation, our gut flora and our health will thrive. The remaining three functions of the gut system are greatly dependent upon the microbiota, including nutrient absorption through the intestinal wall, strong immunity, and smooth operating gut nerves, which reflect on your mood and the sense of well-being. But living a modern life has brought a lot of challenges to this delicate mechanism. Exposure to toxic chemicals, food additives, medications, primarily sleep tablets, reflux medicines, and especially antibiotics, which are designed specifically to kill biota, wipe out the good flora over time. Alcohol and stress also contribute. In addition, Restrictive diets, particularly the ones heavily based on animal proteins like keto diet, Duncan or Atkins diet, lack precious fiber, which feeds the gut bacteria. In such conditions, the intestines turn from the inner rainforest into a toxic desert. The pathogens resistant to chemicals that the good bacteria couldn't survive take over, leading to intestinal dysbiosis. Yeasts are usually the first ones to overgrow and invade the area. They thrive on the sweet foods and dairy products and expel their waste, a toxic emission that makes you bloated, gassy, and irritated. No matter how conscious you are about what you eat, we are all affected by dysbiosis to some extent, simply because we are all exposed to toxicity and we need to strive to maintain a delicate balance between the good bacteria and pathogens in our gut. So what are the signs of good gut health? First and foremost, a healthy poop, which should happen at least once per day, though ideally elimination should occur after each meal. The poop should be well formed yet soft. Strong immunity, mental health and proper stress management, and physical stamina, which refers to stable energy levels throughout the day and restful sleep. And finally, obviously, no symptoms of unhealthy gut. Beneficial intestinal flora is killed by a mix of antibiotics, coffee, alcohol, but also improper eating habits and food combinations. Symptoms you might experience include frequent digestive discomforts, including acid reflux, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, gas, bloating, irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, diarrhea, and food intolerances. Weight fluctuations and difficulty maintaining a stable, healthy weight. Excessive sugar cravings, skin problems such as eczema, as a result of a broken barrier in the intestinal wall leading to leakage of toxins into the blood circulation, a condition known as leaky gut. Poor immunity. It takes much longer for you to combat a common cold or a flu. And mental health problems, including anxiety, depression, eating disorders. So how to support the gut microbiota, alleviate common symptoms of unhealthy gut, and prevent more serious diseases from developing? Probiotics are strains of live bacteria found in certain foods that can rebuild the intestinal flora successfully. They improve digestion, thus more nutrients get absorbed and utilized by the body. Probiotics fight off the bad bacteria to which we are exposed constantly. They increase the immunity and help to control inflammation. Two strains of bacteria are particularly beneficial for the gut health: Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium, as well as one type of yeast, Saccharomyces boulardii. The best food sources of these beneficial bacteria and yeast are fermented foods. Though nowadays becoming increasingly popular, fermented foods are certainly not a hype, but an ancient technique of controlled microbial growth and fermentation. The result is a delicious condiment, very easy to digest, and a rich source of biota that will inhabit the intestines. The best probiotic sources are sauerkraut and kimchi, which are packed with probiotics as well as fiber that support digestion and enhance gut health. A tablespoon of sauerkraut or kimchi with a meal is a great way to get your daily dose of probiotics. Unpasteurized pickled vegetables. When green olives, daikon, onions, cucumbers, or any vegetables that you like are submerged in brine, the lactobacillus strain of bacteria proliferates, allowing fermentation of the vegetables and giving them a delicious flavor we all enjoy. Buttermilk. It is a fermented dairy product containing the liquid left over after whole milk has been churned into butter. If unpasteurized, it contains substantial amounts of lactic acid, producing bacteria needed for the gut microbiota, as well as for the biota lining the urinary and genital tract. Kefir boasts strong probiotic properties, containing over 30 strains of bacteria and yeast, extremely beneficial for gut health. It also has most clinical evidence for gut health. Miso paste is a traditional Japanese condiment made from soybeans that have been fermented with salt and a koji starter. It can be used to make sauces, a very popular miso soup, spreads, or even better, to pickle vegetables. A bowl of miso soup is a delicious probiotic food you can have daily. And finally, raw leafy greens and fruits with skins. I will explain this in more detail later, but organically grown fruits and leafy green vegetables host a variety of living biotics sitting on their leaves and skins. When eaten raw with skins, they serve as powerful probiotic foods. Prebiotics don't contain living cultures, but these are types of fiber that feed the friendly bacteria in your gut, boosting their growth in the digestive system. Fiber is only found in plant-based foods, including vegetables, especially the ones containing complex carbohydrates, in fruits, nuts, seeds, legumes, beans. And while humans cannot digest fiber, gut bacteria can. In fact, they depend upon a regular supply of fiber. The list of prebiotic foods is long, but banana and papaya are two of the most important foods to eat when dealing with gut issues. Other foods that are high in prebiotic fiber, particularly inulin, which is a beloved food for your gut bacteria, include yams, asparagus, chicory, which makes a great caffeine-free coffee replacement, Jerusalem artichokes, dandelion greens, garlic, leeks, onions, rice, barley, oats, berries, potatoes, and sweet potatoes. The gut bacteria utilize prebiotic fiber, turning it into a short-chain fatty acid called butyrate, important for weight control and helps with weight loss if needed. Variety is so important for gut health. We have more than 250 bacterial species in the gut, and each species has its own requirements. We can too often get stuck eating same foods week after week, so you can try expanding your repertoire and setting the bar at, let's say, 30 different plant-based foods per week. But I honestly believe that following what is in season, visiting farmers markets, will help you a lot with this. You will surely have a well-balanced food list without much thinking. Plant foods are rich in enzymes and fiber needed for the sustenance of the gut bacteria. And if grown organically, plants contain naturally occurring biotics on their above-ground surfaces, on their leaves and fruit skins. Eat some of the organically grown fruits and veggies raw, unwashed, or lightly rinsed if there is any soil on them, as they contain an abundance of friendly bacteria on their leaves and skins. Unlike pharmaceutical probiotics and soil-borne organisms, the elevated microorganisms from plant skins and leaves are able to survive the strong digestive enzymes and make it to the small intestine, where they will produce the vitamin B12, crucial for body's optimal functioning. From the moment of birth until the age of 3, the gut system will be inhabited by a variety of microbiota from the environment, achieving stability and diversification. In adulthood, the gut microbiota alone has 150 times more genes than we ourselves do, with more than 250 bacterial species. 100 trillion individual bacteria, which is 10 times more than the total number of our own cells, and accounting for between 1 and 2 kilograms of our body weight. We are more bacteria than humans. Bacteria and some friendly yeasts help you to digest foods better, eliminate unfriendly guests such as disease-causing bacteria, viruses, and parasites, maintain your immunity, and even detect who to trust in life. Our generation is plagued with intestinal dysfunctions, bloating, constipation, and irritable bowel syndrome. And we all want to find a magic bullet to solve all our health issues. The pharmaceutical industry responds quickly, offering medical-grade probiotics as a quick-fix solution for damaged intestinal flora. Their marketing suggests that taking probiotic product alone is sufficient, thus creating dependency on their products. But only when you change your dietary habits, something I discussed in the previous videos, when you inhabit the intestinal lining with live bacteria and provide them the nutrients and fiber which they will use for growth and proliferation, can you truly rebuild the intestinal flora successfully? Wishing you a healthy gut and joyful mind. Naturally Anna is signing off. Leave your comments below, give this video a thumbs up, do not forget to subscribe and tap the bell button as not to miss any of the upcoming videos. See you in the next video.